Now let us start the class. Last time we discussed about optical isomerism. We discussed about under what condition it can be optically active and under what condition it will be optically inactive, right? And then we decided that there is a chiral carbon atom. What is chiral carbon atom? The carbon atom bonded to four different atoms or group of atoms. That is called as a chiral carbon atom, right? And we discussed about that if you make a mirror image of any compound, that mirror image, if that is non-superimposable, if that is non-superimposable upon each other, then the two isomers that are formed is called enantiomer, optical isomers, right? That's what we discussed, and that's optical isomerism. Now understand here. I have a compound, this one. I have this compound. How many chiral carbon atoms are there in it? Count and tell me fast. How many chiral carbon atoms are there in this compound? Yeah. So one is this, another is this. There are two chiral carbon atoms. Right. Perfect. But in this compound, we find there is a plane of symmetry. Plane of symmetry means in this axis, if you cut it, I'll get two equal halves. And if I flip over the other, the lower part will cover upon the upper part. So I can say this is symmetrical molecule and it has a plane of symmetry. It can be divided into two equal parts. It is a plane of symmetry. The necessary condition for a compound to be optically active is dissymmetry. And here we find dissymmetry. Here you find symmetry. Plane of symmetry is there. So this compound is optically inactive even though it has a two chiral carbon atoms. It is optically inactive because of symmetry here. If upper part is dextrorotatory, the lower part will be levorotatory. If upper part is dextrorotatory, the lower part will be levorotatory. They are cancelling out effect of each other. They are cancelling out effect of each other. This is called as a, they are optically inactive due to internal compensation. Internally within the same molecule, the half part is dextrorotatory, other half part is levorotatory. It is a plane of symmetry and the compound is optically inactive, right? So this compound is called mesotartaric acid. This compound is called as a mesotartaric acid. Am I clear? Am I clear at all? Due to the internal compensation, this is optically inactive. Even though it has a two chiral carbon atoms, this compound is optically inactive. Now, another question. Now, question to all of you. Write the IUPAC name of this compound. Everyone, please. Write the IUPAC name of this compound. Quick answer. Yes, Ruben, Sagar. I'm not getting any response from you. Yes, 2-chlorobutane. Okay, fine, perfect. It's 2-chlorobutane. How many chiral carbon atoms it has? How many chiral carbon atoms it has? One. Okay, good. So this is the carbon atom, that is a chiral carbon atom. What is the hybridization of the chiral carbon atom? What is the hybridization of chiral carbon atom? Okay, good, Ruben. What is the geometry of this compound? What is the geometry of this compound? Tetrahedral. Good. Now, if I make its mirror image, I will get like this. And before that, I want one thing more. If I draw like this, And if I draw like this dash line indicate that the chlorine is away from the observer. It is behind the screen, away from observer. And this is towards the observer. It is protruding out of the screen now, towards the observer. And the two plane lines, normal lines, are in the plane of the screen, in the plane of the board, we can say, in the plane of the paper, we can say. It's a three-dimensional structure. When we say tetrahedral, it means it is now three-dimensional. This chlorine is away from the observer and hydrogen is towards the observer, right? Now let us make its mirror image. It goes like this. The chlorine now goes like this. Chlorine, this is towards the observer, hydrogen, and now this is the methyl and it's ethyl. These two are non-superimposable upon each other. One is dextrorotatory and other is levorotatory. And these two isomers are called as enantiomers. These are non-superimposable upon each other. Enantiomers. These are also called as optical isomers. These are also called as optical antipodes. Now, suppose we can think of a solution in which we have both of these compounds, and in equal quantity. Suppose I say the quantity, the concentration of the dextrorotatory is equal to the levorotatory. Then half number of molecules will be distracting the molecule toward the right hand side and half towards the left hand side, half towards the dextrorotatory, other will be the levorotatory. In that case, this solution will be optically again inactive. Optically inactive because half number of molecules are deflecting the plane polarized light toward the right hand side and half toward the right hand side. It is optically inactive. If it is optically inactive, it is due to external compensation. External compensation. It is due to the external compensation. External compensation means this molecule is dextrorotatory. Within the same molecule, there is nothing which is not making it inactive, which is making it inactive. The other molecule is responsible for the inactivity of this because they are in opposite direction. So externally, this molecule is causing its optically inactive. Whereas in the previous case of the mesotartaric acid, it is within the same molecule, the half part is dextrorotatory and half part is levorotatory, and so we call this is the internal compensation. This is the internal compensation, and here it is the external compensation. It is outside of the molecule now. Am I clear to all? External compensation and internal compensation. Optical inactivity, even though it has a 2 chiral carbon atoms. In the case of the mesotartaric acid, yes, anyone having any doubt? Avneet, Sia, Himanshi, any doubt? Okay. This type of solution is called as a RACIMIC, a racemic mixture. The solution, the mixture of two compounds, the mixture of two optically active compounds, but half amount or half concentration is dextrorotatory and half levorotatory. The compound is called as the mixture is called as a racemic mixture. The mixture is called racemic mixture. Am I clear? Now, another thing. Carbon double bond carbon with both the side carbon double bond. This category of a compound is called as an alene. Remember, it is called as an alene. Allenes are those compounds in which carbon is bonded to two other carbon atoms with double bond, right? And here this methyl is a bromine here. It is a NH2. It is a Cl here. Does it have any chiral carbon atom? Does it have any chiral carbon atom? Yes or no? No, it does not have. But it is optically active, even though it does not have any chiral carbon atom. Reason, this is dissymmetric in nature. Reason is this is dissymmetric in nature. Dissymmetric in the sense, around this carbon atom, this part of the molecule is within the plane of the screen. It is like this, and the other part of the screen is like that. It is away from the observer, and this is the towards the observer. So can I say these methyl and bromine are perpendicular to the other two? They're perpendicular to it. It is like that, perpendicular to the chlorine and NH2. The chlorine and NH2 are in the plane of the screen, and CH3 and Br are perpendicular to perpendicular to it. The bromine is towards the observer and methyl is away from observer. Methyl away from observer and bromine towards the observer, right? And now if I make its mirror image, it's a carbon, double bond carbon, double bond carbon. Here I will get methyl. Here I will get bromine. Right? And this is the chlorine and NH2. Now if we find this is dextrorotatory, it will be levorotatory. These are non-superimposable upon each other. Non-superimposable upon each other. It is optically active compound. Am I clear? Even though it does not have any chiral carbon atoms. It has a dissymmetry because this part is in the plane of the screen and this is perpendicular to the other. Are you getting this? Right. Himanshi, Shivya? Okay. The necessary condition is again the same. I say it must have dissymmetry. And all these four atoms or group of atoms must be different. All these atoms or group of atoms must be different. Now, my another question here. This compound, chlorine, OH, and here I have methyl and methyl. What is the nature of this compound? It is optically active or inactive? It is optically active or inactive? Ruben says active. Kanika says inactive. Okay. It is inactive. Very good. Reasons, and here we have two similar groups of atoms are there. All the groups must be different, and here we have a similar groups. Follow the condition here. Now next compound. Next category of a compound is alkyl dienes. Alkyl dienes. Alkylidines. More appropriate pronunciation is alkylidines. Here we have carbon-carbon double bond, but on the other side I have now a cyclic ring. This is a cyclic carbon atom, I can say. And this is the X and Y. This is the A and B. Again, you can see that here we have dissymmetry. If this is in the plane, then this is perpendicular to it. This is known as perpendicular to it, optically active. even though it does not have any chiral carbon atom. You can make its mirror image, it will be non-superimposable upon each other. One will be dextrorotatory, other will be levorotatory, right? One will be dextrorotatory, other will be levorotatory. Any doubt? Now, tell me the nature of this compound, active or inactive? It is active or inactive?
सर ये अल्काइल आयोडीन ना एक भी द्वारा बताना सर वो वॉइस बंद हो गई थी.
In place of the carbon, double bond carbon, we have a cyclic ring here. And if it is cyclic ring here, this is and this is perpendicular to each other. Around this double bond, they are perpendicular to each other. This is symmetric in nature, optically active. All the four group of atoms must be different for a compound to be optically active. Now think about this one now. Optically, what about this? Optically active or inactive? This compound inactive because of similar group of atoms are there, right? Here both the A and A are similar, so it is optically inactive, right? Now next category is of the spiranes, spiranes. What are these spiranes now? Two rings fused with each other. Two rings fused with each other, and these two groups are these one are, it may be same here, it may be different here, whatever, doesn't matter. The point is this part of the molecule and the other part of the molecule, they are dissymmetric, they are perpendicular to each other. So if I make its mirror image, it will not superimpose and it is optically active. Because these two parts of the molecule are perpendicular to each other. If it is perpendicular, it is dissymmetric and the compound is optically active, right? Another case. Keep on drawing all this and this one. Here we have a methyl and a methyl. This is chlorine and NH2. And here we find along this axis, this part of the molecule is symmetric because two are same on the same carbon atom, methyl same, and become symmetric now. This is the optically inactive. Is that clear? Take up the another case now. One ring is cyclobutyl. Another ring is of the cyclohexane. It is methyl. It's a bromine. It's a fluorine and it is chlorine. You tell me it is active or inactive. Okay, good, Avneet. Good. It is active. Again, the reason is same. It is dissymmetric. The two rings are perpendicular to each other. And the two compounds are non-superimposable upon each other. They are non-superimposable upon each other. And the next category that we will discuss about optical activity is the biphenyls. When I talk about the biphenyls, it means two rings, two benzene rings joined with each other like this. This compound is called as the biphenyl. But I'm talking about the biphenyls, a category of the biphenyls. It means it has some substituents. One thing to be keep in mind that these two rings are perpendicular to each other. Imagine this is towards the observer and the other yellow part is away from observer. This is away from observer. So I can say this ring and the other ring are perpendicular to each other. Yes or no? These two rings are perpendicular to each other. Got it? And now if you make its mirror image, will it superimpose upon it or not? Yes. If I make its mirror image, it's a mirror here, then will it superimpose or not? इतना क्या सोच रहे हो? लेफ्ट का राइट हो जाएगा, राइट का लेफ्ट हो जाएगा, सुपर इम्पोज नहीं करेगा. लेटरली इन्वर्टेड इमेज इज फॉर्म्ड. Laterally inverted image is formed, and this is called as a biphenyl, right? Am I clear? Now, the necessary condition for a compound to be optically active is the two rings are perpendicular to each other. Number one. This is towards the observer, and their ortho position is substituted with a four different group of atoms: bromine here, chlorine here, and NH2 here. We do not have any chiral carbon atom. So one thing is now very clear, that chirality is not a necessary condition for a compound to be optically active. Chirality is not necessary condition for a compound to be optically active. But the necessary condition is dissymmetry. If you make it a mirror image, the mirror image will not superimpose upon it. It will be optically active. Like that. Chlorine and NH2, and it is CH3 and Br. And one thing to be keep in mind, that this is perpendicular to the other. If it is dextrorotatory, then this is levorotatory. The two are perpendicular to each other. All the four group of atoms must be different. Number one, it should not have any plane of symmetry. It should not have any plane of symmetry. Neither ring, none of the two rings should have plane of symmetry. Plane of symmetry means they should not have similar atoms now. Now suppose I say I have this compound. One is this ring, other is this ring. You know, this is perpendicular to the observer. And here I have a 2 chlorine, and here I have an NH2, and here I have methyl. It is active or inactive? Inactive, because here we are finding the plane of symmetry in one ring. Here we have a plane of symmetry in one ring. Both the rings should have dissymmetry, right? So these are the how to find out whether it is optically active or inactive in spiranes, in alkyladines, in case of alkenes, in meso compounds, and so on. Right. So now we are representing the molecule in two ways. One is a 3D structure, like this. We call wedge and dash representation. This is towards the observer and this is away from observer, right? This is a dash representing that it is away from observer, and this wedge is representing that this is towards the observer. This is called as a wedge dash representation of a molecule. Wedge dash representation of a molecule. Another is the same thing can be represented like this. This is the carbon atom here and the four atoms are there. It's A, B, C, D groups are there, then A, B, C, D are there. This is a 2D representation. It's a 2D representation, and this is called as a Fischer representation. We can represent a molecule in 3D or 2D, both ways. In 2D it is called as a Fischer representation. In 2D it is representation like that, right? So we can convert 3D to the 2D or 2D to the 3D anyways, like that. For example, if I say I have a 3D representation, it's a methyl here, ethyl here, and here is the hydrogen that is towards the observer, and the chlorine is away from observer. This is the carbon atom. How to convert it into the 2D representation? So this is the chiral carbon atom here. This is the chiral carbon atom here, right? How to convert now? Chlorine, जो hydrogen, this is towards the observer. इसको नीचे ले आओ. Chlorine ऊपर ले आओ. ऊपर नीचे वाले आ गए. Left right वाले methyl ethyl. This is the representation of a molecule, right? It's a 3D representation here, it's a 2D representation here. I'll make more cases also. That is how we represent from 2D to 3D or 3D to the 2D. both ways. Now आपने enantiomer का representation ऐसा बनाया था अभी. Hydrogen, this is towards the observer. अब representation बात कर रहे हैं हम. How to represent the molecule? CH2 CH3. I can now make the mirror image. Now the ethyl goes this side, methyl this side. अब यहाँ पर क्या होगा कि इसका bromine towards the observer and hydrogen away from observer. उल्टा हो जाएगा, लेफ्ट का राइट, राइट का लेफ्ट, राइट का लेफ्ट और लेफ्ट का राइट. सी हियर, when we talk about the mirror images, it makes literally inverted images. Literally inverted images, right? Literally inverted images. जो बाहर की ओर है वो बाहर की ओर ही रहेगा, जो इनवर्ड है वो इनवर्ड ही दिखाएंगे उसको. Now, if you make the structure in the 2D now, chlorine and NH2, methyl and H, make the mirror image. Make the mirror image. Laterally inverted. Methyl and hydrogen remain same. Make it reverse now. It is the NH2 this side and chlorine this side. If this is dextrorotatory, this will be levorotatory. I hope it's very clear now. Any doubt till now? Now, next is the diastereomers. Diastereomers. Next topic is very, very important now. That is the diastereomers. See, हमने एक अभी स्ट्रक्चर डिस्कस किया था, mesotartaric acid. Mesotartaric acid. And we said this compound is optically inactive because of plane of symmetry. And now I am making one more structure here. This is a mesotartaric acid, and now this and this. Let's talk about this compound now. This B compound. Will it have optical isomer? Yes or no? Will it be optically active or not? It has a 2 carbon atoms here. Can you see? Right? And now if I make its mirror image, literally inverted images are formed. Are these two structures superimposable upon each other? Yes or no? This B and C. These are not superimposable, right? So this is dextrorotatory and this is levorotatory. And these two are enantiomers of each other, or optical isomers of each other. Now, what about the set of the A and B? They are not superimposable upon each other, number one, and they are also not enantiomers of each other, right? So this A and B set, or I can say A and C set, are diastereomers of each other. Diastereomers of each other. Got it now? A and B and A and C. These two are diastereomers of each other. Is that clear? Any doubt till now? Okay, now next case. I'm drawing one structure here. Hydrogen and bromine this side. Another structure I'm drawing here. Hydrogen, bromine, methyl. Another structure. Hydrogen, bromine and methyl. Now tell me, what is the relationship between A and B? Only two options are giving you, enantiomers or diastereomers. These are enantiomers or diastereomers. Yes, what is A and B? A and B are enantiomers of each other. They are non-superimposable upon each other. Yes, Risha, very good. Now you have to tell me what is the relationship between B and C. What is the relationship between B and C now? Are these enantiomers? Yes or no? Are these enantiomers? Yes or no? Or they are diastereomers? These are diastereomers, right? So A and B are enantiomers and B and C are diastereomers. Got it now? These are non-superimposable upon each other, and they are also not enantiomers of each other. Now take up one more example here now. Draw the structure, and now you know the meaning of this wedge and dash. Now you have to tell me this structure that I'm right now drawing, what is the relationship between the two? That's it. What is the relationship between these two compounds? Is it enantiomer or it is a diastereomer? Yes, I'm waiting for your response. Everyone? Okay. Kanika says diastereomers. Okay. These are non-superimposable mirror images. These are enantiomers of each other. It is not diastereomer. Practice it. It's very very yes please.
सर फिर पिछले क्वेश्चन पिछले एग्जांपल में बी और सी भी तो नॉन सुपर इम्पोजेबल थे, वो डायस्टीरियोमर कैसे हो गए?
ये नॉन सुपर इम्पोजेबल है और ऑप्टिकल आइसोमर भी नहीं है, तभी तो डायस्टीरियोमर है. दीज आर नॉन सुपर इम्पोजेबल है और ये आपस में
नीचे वाले भी नॉन सुपर इम्पोजेबल है, नीचे वाले भी नहीं,
बट इनका स्ट्रक्चर सेम है, ओनली ओरिएंटेशन डिफरेंट है. यहाँ पर स्ट्रक्चर ही डिफरेंट हो रहा है. ये देखो ये इसका मिरर इमेज है, लेकिन ये दूसरे मिरर इमेज नहीं है. तो बता दिस डायस्टीरियोमर जो आपस में एक दूसरे के मिरर इमेजेस ना हो, मिरर इमेजेस ही ना हो. यहाँ पर मिरर इमेजेस हैं और सुपर इम्पोजेबल नहीं है. ये मिरर इमेजेस भी नहीं है आपस में. जो मिरर इमेजेस नहीं है आपस में वो डायस्टीरियोमर होते हैं. तो यहां पर ये मिरर इमेजेस हैं, राइट.